and welcome once again to In the Lab. It is World Space Week. Hopefully you watched the video from yesterday. We answered some questions on the general topic of space. And today, as you might be able to tell from behind me, the questions are going to be all about black holes. And I've got my special protective headgear which will protect me, I hope, from black holes. Look at that, that's impressive. But you can't hear me, so I'm gonna lift it up. Will it protect me?
No.
No, all right, never mind. That was the first question. Number 2 question comes from Aaron. He asks, what happens when you get sucked into a black hole? Well, I wouldn't, Aaron, but what would happen?
Yeah, it would be incredibly interesting, would be the first thing to say. The general term for it is something called spaghettification.
Oh.
Which is exactly what it says on the tin of spaghetti, is that your body would get drawn out into long noodles of spaghetti because the gravity is so strong once you go past the event horizon of a black hole and actually building up to that point as well, where your tips of your fingers would feel a stronger force of gravity than your elbow and then stronger than your shoulder, and basically you would just get elongated and stretched out, and it would probably end up with you dying. But once you're past that point, if you survive, nobody knows.
I'm going off physics.
Spaghettification.
The more questions we ask about dying in physics, it's just going mad.
No, you get pretty dark, yeah.
This is why I like biology.
Yeah.
Question from Josh comes now.
Ooh.
Can a planet orbit a black hole? Is it possible?
Good question. Yes. However, they are called planets, not planets. They're called a planet because they orbit a black hole.
A planet.
A planet. And they are currently hypothetical. So
Oh.
these are things that would orbit a black hole. The reason they're hypothetical is that there's no reason why they couldn't exist if they were in a safe distance away from a black hole to not get pulled in by the extreme gravity.
Yeah.
They could orbit around it. However, because the only way we can really detect planets at the moment is by them interfering with the light from their nearby star, either from them orbiting in front of it between us, or from light reflecting off them. So with a planet that orbits a black hole, there's no real light for us to interact with for our telescopes or our observations, making them very, very difficult to detect. So currently hypothetical, but planets, we do think they exist, and it's also a really fun word to say.
Indeed. Planet, it is fun. Yeah.
Planet.
A question from from Ben. What happens if 2 black holes collide? Can they collide? Do they?
Yep, they can collide. We have seen them collide. We quite often get black holes colliding with other big things like neutron stars, because obviously big objects, they have large gravitational fields and they sort of like attract towards each other. And when they do so, we get big collisions and lots of gravitational waves are released, and it was one of the big pieces of evidence that we used for detecting and understanding gravitational waves, something that is a very big part of physics nowadays, was because of one of those collisions, and it generally just makes a much bigger black hole and releases a lot of gravitational waves.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Very important question now, because it's from Mr. Walker.
I wonder who he is.
Yes. The question is, where is the nearest black hole to us? Apart from there.
Apart from that one there, yeah, but that's a photo. So the nearest black hole to us is, well, first of all, it's called the unicorn.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
right,
it's called the unicorn. It's got a name. Yeah, it's called the unicorn, and it's only a mere 1,500 light years away.
Right.
So it basically, if you travelled at the speed of light, it would take you 1,500 years to even get close to it. To put that into perspective, the sun is 8 light minutes away.
Oh, right, okay.
So
shorter, yeah.
So yeah, the sun is only 8 light minutes. We're now 1,500 light years. So still far enough away for us to kind of not bother about it too much.
So is that a real picture of a black hole?
No, that is an artistic representation. We do have some pictures of black holes that have been formed, which you can see here. And like you say, yeah, so this was formed like last couple of years, and there's lots of work going into actually getting photos of black holes. Again, problem being they're black because they don't emit light, so photographing them is, well, kind of not that easy to do. You kind of need to wait for another star to pass behind it and capture the other waves and stuff that come around it. But yeah, visible light from a black hole is in and of itself fruitless because they're black.
Very nice. Do we get any other kind of holes? White holes, purple holes, red holes? No.
Not that I know of. No. Like you say, no, not that I know of.
That is a shame, to be honest with you. But now it is time for, once again, Ask Mr. Wilson. The question for you, Mr. Wilson, today is this. Which has got more, right? Or which is the higher number? Stars in the Milky Way or trees on Earth?
Ooh, good question.
It is, isn't it?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, and my gut would be, I'm going to go with stars in the Milky Way by a fair margin.
Interesting. I'll give you the numbers.
Yeah.
Stars in the Milky Way, 100 to 400 billion.
Yeah, 400 billion. Yeah. 200.
Trees on Earth, 3 trillion.
Trillion.
Yes.
Whoa.
Now that is surprising, isn't it?
Whoa.
Surprising. Well,
No way.
We're all lifelong learners, everybody. Even teachers learn, don't they?
Yeah.
So there you go.
I like that.
I didn't know that before I looked it up, so there you go.
That's a good fact.
Well, tomorrow we are going to be looking at the sun and other stars, questions relating to that. So do tune in for that. Thank you very much. Goodbye.